dia, professor Carlos. Tudo bem com você?
Boa tarde, aqui é boa tarde. Bom dia para
Lá,
você.
aqui é bonito.
Ô, Patrícia,
Vantagem.
Patrícia, o som não está tão bom aqui, está cortando muito.
Tá, mas a de você basta ficar boa. Tem um problema da minha rede. Fica à vontade na sua apresentação.
Ok. Eu já devo apresentar agora, exibir agora a apresentação, né?
Sim, apresentar a tela.
Deixa eu ver aqui, só um minuto que eu acho que a forma como eu coloquei, eu não vejo a tela, só um minuto. Deixa eu ver depois de outra forma. Apresentar uma guia. Eu coloco aqui como uma janela, não? Uma
Nela.
pantalha.
Eu compartilho
Você
a tela, não tem problema.
já consegue visualizar aí?
A gente,
Porque eu estou com uma tela só, portanto eu não vejo. Só vejo a minha apresentação no meu computador.
tá bom. Você apresenta. A gente também está conseguindo ver sua apresentação de você.
Tá ok. Quando for para iniciar, basta falar.
Não, você pode. Você pode começar.
Então, você prefere que eu fale inglês, português, espanhol eu não falo.
Não tem problema. Você pode inglês.
Inglês mesmo, não?
Mesmo.
Tá ok. Qualquer problema você fala aí, ou se não me fala no WhatsApp, porque eu não estou vendo a tela, ok?
Está certo.
Okay. First, I would like to thank the organizer and Dr. Patricia Poma for the invitation. I felt honored. In this lecture, I will try to show the current situation and the reliability of fluorescent nanothermometer in biomedicine. In recent years, there has been increased interest in luminescence nanoparticle as biocompatible optical probing for diagnostic and therapy. Special attention has been paid to the use of nanoparticle as luminescent nanothermometers because the temperature is a fundamental parameter in a variety of areas, including electronic devices, engineering, biology, and so on. In biomedicine, for example, the temperature is one of the most critical parameters affecting the dynamics of living specimens. Due to the strong temperature dependence of cellular dynamics, since abnormal temperature could induce irreversible effects. Furthermore, small temperature anomalies could indicate many diseases or health dysfunctions, such as tumor, inflammation, real-time temperature control, hyperthermia processes, so on. And because of this, the local temperature monitor can be used as an effective early detection procedure. In this talk, I will be presenting in a well-summarized form what has been done in some fluorescence thermoimages applied to biological systems and the current difficulties and the reliability for in vivo application. The outline of my talk includes a motivation, why measuring in vivo temperature, the past, what has been done, how we did it, coverage, where it is going, and the future, the challenges, okay? The steady state temperature.
Professor Carlos, você está passando os slides?
Sim.
Aqui a gente não consegue ver quando você está passando os slides.
Eu estou
Só
aqui no terceiro, no 3.
Só consegui ver a primeira slide.
Ainda está no primeiro.
No primeiro ainda está.
Eu já estou no terceiro aqui. Deixa eu sair e voltar para tentar novamente. Deixa eu ver. Deixa eu ver por aqui.
Se compartilho toda a tela, não seria melhor?
Não passou aí? Não está passando? Eu já passei por segundo.
Não, ainda não. Só
Então,
fica. Agora passou, pero você está passando um segundo. Pero você, quando. Aí na apresentação, aí não está na copia. Você pegou na apresentação
eu
e
acho
você
que
sai.
quando estou no modo apresentação, aí não, parece que não passa aí, né? Porque eu tirei do modo
Parece que não.
apresentação, aí ela passa. Agora está passando?
Não.
Muito estranho. Eu vou fazer o seguinte: vou remover a apresentação e colocar novamente.
Tá.
Consegue visualizar a apresentação?
Consigo. Não. Só consigo a primeira. Só se vê a janela do point.
Não está passando aí.
Você compartilhar a tela inteira do computador.
Deixa eu ver
Fala
aqui.
por a tela.
E agora?
Agora faz pressão. Tá,
Consegui? Agora está passando.
Já tudo certo. Agora sim.
Então eu devo voltar tudo?
Acho que sim.
Todo o começo, lá, a introdução, tudo? Ou somente a partir daqui?
A parte da
Porque no primeiro
motivação.
slide era parado mesmo. Depois do outline,
A
eu creio que
motivação.
posso ir a partir deste, não?
É isso. Você pode ir ali.
Ou está sendo gravado?
Para cima começar a ser gravado. Está sendo
Então
gravado.
eu vou começar novamente, ok?
Ok. Tá tudo certo. Tá.
Ok, começando. Again. First, I would like to thank the organizer, Dr. Patricia Poma, for this invitation. I feel narrated. In this lecture, I will try to show the current situation and reliability of fluorescent nanothermometer biomedicine. Okay, in recent years, there has been increased interest in luminescence nanoparticle has biocompatible optical probe for diagnostic therapy. Special attention has been paid to the use of nanoparticle as luminescence nanothermometer because the temperature is a fundamental parameter in a variety of areas, including electronic device, engineering, biology, and so on. In biomedicine, for example, the temperature is one of the most critical parameters affecting the dynamic of living specimens due to the strong temperature dependence of cellular dynamics, since abnormal temperature could induce irreversible effects. Furthermore, small temperature anomalies could indicate many diseases or have dysfunctions, such as tumor, inflammation, real-time temperature control, and hyperthermia processing, so on. And because of this, the local temperature monitor can be used as an effective detection procedure. In this talk, I will be presenting in well summarized form what has been done so fluorescence thermal images applied in biological systems in the current situations or difficulties in reliability for in vivo applications. The outline of my presentation includes a motivation why measuring in vivo temperature, the past results, what has been done, how we did it, covered where it is going, and the future, the difficulty, the challenges. The steady state temperature of any tissue results from the complex balance between heat generation due to metabolic activity, heat exchange due to broad perfusion, diffusion. In other words, the study of biological tissue is in general very complex, but it's possible. The Penny bioheat transfer equation is a simple equation, but it contains many parameters and information, and we can learn a lot about the tissue temperature from it. For example, we have here the density, specific heat, thermal conductivity of the tissue, blood perfusion rate, density and the specific heat of the blood, and the metabolic heat generation rate. An alteration in the blood perfusion, metabolic activity, blood temperature, thermal property of tissue can be detected and advanced by tissue temperature. In this sense, the temperature image has become so diagnostic tool. This is excellent book, you see here. About the optical thermal response of light tissue interaction, and I recommend some it for how interested. Among the many parameters affecting the system in nature, temperature is the most active. In fact, the importance of temperature in living sciences is demonstrated in many situations. For example, cell division, tumor and disease detection, like this one here, and more recently has attempted to stop the spread of Ebola and the now SARS-CoV-2. In this image here, is presented that tumor are armored than in healthy tissue. It's important to point out here that thermal image can be based on fluorescence image. The temperature has been used for evaluating the risk of infarct. In this first image here, is presented some problems that appear in the blood vessel or arteries of the heart, leading to interruption of blood flow. In this graph, is presented the temperature increment as a function of the macrophage cell in plaques, and in the other here, the temperature increment versus the real state of the heart. Note that the infarcted heart exhibits high temperature increment. This thermal image is used for a rheumatoid arthritis diagnosis. Ratiométrico luminescence thermômetro basado sobre triplete annihilation and neodymium doped nanoparticle em inflammatory mode. The bright field image shows an arthritis in the right leg of the mice stimulated with carragena. Carragena is a drug to induce the arthritis. While the left leg was normal as control. The radiometric image reveals the luminescence ratio and the evaluated temperature distribution in the two legs. In this another example, thermal image is used in screening of joint inflammation and rheumatoid arthritis, resulting presented in different angle and the part of the legs. Here, the temperature was used to monitoring brain activity. Temperature changes are associated with focal seizure. Something very important to see is that depending on the problem, the brain temperature change is positive or negative. For example, for coma or ischemia, the brain temperature is reduced, while for Parkinson diseases, sexual intercourse, heroin, etc., increase the brain temperature. Okay, in vivo thermometry, currently available solution. Public health required form of rapid and accurate diagnosis of diseases. One way is through fever tracking or screening. The temperature has been measured in different ways or using different types of equipment. One of that is using one infrared thermographic camera. For example, for ophthalmological problem and vascular disorder. However, this system, this equipment presents many limitations, and the main is not penetration in the tissue disease. It measures only surface temperature. Another way to measure body temperature is use magnetic resonance image, as in this image here, show the brain tumor. In the graph is presented the magnetic relaxation time as a function of the temperature increment here for oil, breast, and the pig. The biggest problem with this technique is that although it has high penetration into biological tissue, it is low and very expensive. Another possibility to measure the temperature in biological system is using thermocouple. The main limitation of this is invasive, and it can behave as a heat sink, compromise the reliable or real temperature reading. Okay, in vivo thermometry, bioluminescence. Exactly, it is right in this point that we introduce the concept of luminescence thermometry. This technique is based on the use of luminescent nanoparticle, rose spectroscopic properties as a strong temperature dependence. For example, intensity, emission intensity, spectral position, band shape, lifetime, etc. If you are working with nanomaterial, you refer to it as a nanothermometer or a luminescent nanothermometer. The first demonstration of a luminescent thermometer was made in 1966 using the zinc cadmium sulfide based phosphorus for skin temperature record. Black and white image is converted to a thermogram. The top view of this image presents an ordinary image of encyclic breast lamp sub the TV monitor, and this another here, the bottom image, is a view of the heat pattern in the skin obtained using the phosphorus and the ultraviolet excitation. The dark streak here of the tumor depicts the hot vein typical of carcinoma. One very important observation put in this paper, look at the date of this paper, the year, is with this new technique that permits increased temperature discrimination, we have found certain so-called magnetic lesion showing temperature increase. In the cell level, important temperature sensor is based on nanomaterials because it is possible to obtain local or intracellular temperature. The first detection of intracellular temperature was used in an optical nanothermometer based on high ion, in this case, terbium-erbium, codoped nanocrystal, using the two thermocoupled level, emitting the green. It should be noted that these luminescent nanothermometers operate in the visible region, but even it's possible to obtain intracellular temperature. The green because it's outside of the biological windows, and impressing very strong absorption of the tissue. In this publication, the authors demonstrate image of plasmonic heating a living organism, and this is very important because it is a step to therapy. This is the idea now, is not only to measure the temperature in living cells, but also heating to sink in therapy. In this present case, was using laser heat of internalized gold nanorods. In the same way, we demonstrated intratumoral thermal reading during photothermic therapy using neodymium-doped lanthanum fluoride nanoparticle, nanocrystal. This nanomaterial was demonstrated has a potential luminescent nanothermometer and the optical nanoheat because the lanthanum fluoride matrix accept very high radiation concentration. It's interesting to heat and temperature readout. It has been shown to be So interesting that it was possible to make measurement in the subcutaneous intratumoral temperature in real time. So using one excitation to induce the local rhythm and another excitation of the same to detect the luminescence of the material and convert to temperature. In fact, therapy has so effective, and in 5 days, the tumor was completely destroyed. In the graphic here, we present the control, without the tumor, the surface temperature using a thermographic camera, and the intratumoral temperature using the luminescent nanoparticle. Look at the difference between here. The same idea has been used to measure the temperature of many biological systems, like this one, fly larvae. Okay, of course, using another materials. In this case, emitting in the visible. Also, luminescent nanoparticle has been used in measuring temperature of insects, for example, in this case here. Again, using different materials. Luminescent nanosheets stacked in salt GUI allow high resolution thermometric temperature mapping a small level animal. The image of the muscle in pre-flight condition was obtained here. We have used transient thermometry or thermorelaxation dynamic for diagnosis of ischemia. In fact, the thermorelaxation time provides good information about the health state of tissue or organ. This is a simple experiment. Inoculation of the luminescent nanoparticle in the region under investigation, and using another excitation light to induce local heat, and the same or another light to pump of the luminescent nanoparticle, and so detect the luminescence as a function of the tissue temperature. Okay? And they obtain the relaxation because the heat pump is turned off. In the end, it's obtained the thermorelaxation time and compare in the control limb, in the ischemic limb, and the final result is this one. Analyzing from the relaxation time decay. Present some ischemia and another information depends of the time relaxation time. Okay, therefore, we need to know 1 minute. Even though we have showed that luminescent nanothermometers are capable of measuring the subcutaneous temperature of time, this measurement is still punctual. We are still measuring the temperature of a single point inside the tissue, like this point here. This is the major drawback for the design of diagnostic methods based on temperature distribution, because you need, or you would need at least the acquisition of 2D subcutaneous thermal image of time. Okay? Therefore, we needed to seek super sensitive luminescence nanothermometers and work over 1,000 nanometers, because in long wavelength we have free autofluorescence, better penetration in biological tissue, less scattering, everything. Exactly for requirement for more reliable dynamic measuring and the others. Using Ancora shell, engineering with the combination of thulium erbium ions, exactly erbium in the core, thulium in the shell, gives us an unexpectedly high thermosensitivity that allows thermal video recording in small animal. For the luminescence nanothermometer, we use the emission of the erbium at 1,000 nanometer and the thulium and 1.2 micrometer, or erbium and the erbium 1.55 micrometer, obtaining super sensitive in room temperature nanothermometer with relative thermosensitivity of 5% degrees Celsius minus 1 in 20 degrees Celsius. Using one well with a band pass filter, allowing to pace this band in 1,000 nanometer, and this another in 1.2 micrometer, Okay, it's possible to detect one emission for time delay of more or less 3 seconds and perform the ratio of them, the subcutaneous thermovideo to the temperature is obtained. Subcutaneous to the temperature. And carry out in the time it's possible to do on thermovideo. Exactly with this here. Just 1 minute. Okay. The cooling and the heating. This is the first time it was obtained the 2D temperature in subcutaneous situation. Okay. As presented in this paper, the author used neodymium-doped nanoparticle has an intensity reference to calibrate the anti-Stokes process up convection basis of triplet annihilation. Super sensitive radiometric luminescence thermometer was obtained with maximum relative thermosensitivity of 7.1% degrees Celsius minus 1, and it was used to do thermal image for rheumatoid arthritis diagnosis. Okay, in this case, using this two band here. The problem of this system is the main mission. The neodymium is the reference mission, and the plate annihilation is another very sensitive to temperature emitting the green. Is this the problem? Emitting the green outside of the biological windows. The bright field image show arthritis in the right leg of mice stimulated with carrageen, with the leg was the normal temperature, normal reason control, no arthritis in this case. The radiometric image revealed the luminescence heart and evaluate temperature distribution in the two legs, indicating the presence of rheumatoid arthritis. Okay. In this, we investigate in vivo early tumor detection and diagnosis by infrared luminescence transient nanothermometry using silver sulfide nanocrystal. The idea is so simple. This material is very interesting. One of the most interesting material because it's very small, more or less 4 nanometer, and it presents very optical parameter depending on the temperature. For example, intensity, peak position, bandwidth. So it's a very interesting nanothermometer. But the idea is so simple. An excitation laser is used for tumor local heating, where the nanocrystals are located, and another laser is used to excite the nanocrystal. After heating, the heating pump is turned off, and the thermal relaxation is determined using the emission that are converted to temperature. This is in healthy tissue, that is the control, and the tumor tissue is the result, okay? And the final result is this one. Well, we then deduce that, in average, the analysis of thermotransient can detect the tumor only after 5 or 6 days of inoculation. While using tumor volume or simple tumor temperature measurement, it requires at least 10, 11, 12 days of inoculation. Present, the transient thermometry has a very interesting for diagnosis. Parallel to these excellent works, the reliability of luminescence nanothermometers, principally for in vivo application, started to be questioned. The main issue is the reproducibility of the results obtained and also the spectral and the temperature dependence of the optical part of the tissue. For example, excitation density could be a problem, and it was ignored up to date. The temperature can be so different of that measured. Self-trapping is another problem, and it also be ignored. Okay. The best example of materials for fluorescence thermal imaging is the silver sulfide. In this video here, is presented the high resolution intravenous fluorescence imaging Look here for a short time. Very interesting mesmo. This is the high breakness of this material, high efficiency. Okay. Very interesting, this image, this video. Introduce the silver sulfide in this part of the mice and distribution of the organs. Okay. Using the same material, silver sulfide, we are able to increase its luminescence quantity by 80 times using this here. Ultra-fast photochemistry by means of impulsed intense laser. Again, this material emitting the second biological infrared tube, and it was called superdot. In this picture here, we complete luminescence image using commercial silver sulfide dot, neodymium doped lanthanum fluoride nanocrystal, and the single carbon nanotube. Okay, silver sulfide superdot enable deep tissue in vivo imaging in low excitation intensity, lower than 10 milliwatt per centimeter square, and low doses, lower than 0.5 milligram per kilogram. Imaging has an heavily contrast agent for an infrared tube preclinical by imaging. These results establish an approach for developing super break infrared tube contrast agent based on the synergy between chemical synthesis and the ultra-fast laser processes. Even using the silver sulfide nanocrystal, the luminescence nanothermometer has been questioned. This material is a multitasking nanothermometer because it's present thermosensitivity, intensity, peak position, bandwidth at lifetime, etc. The similarity between the EEF image spectrum and the difference to E is attributed to the wavelength-dependent attenuation of the tissue between the live and the detection system, including vessel, screen, etc. These results clearly demonstrate that the tissue-induced spectral distortion cannot be neglected when interpreting infrared to in vivo fluorescence image. Otherwise, the analysis could lead to erroneous conclusions. The same spectral distortion also occurs with high-density ion doped nanocrystal like this here, neodymium deuterium doped nanoparticle, and deuterium túlio hébrio nanoparticle. Look here, the spectral distortion in a cuvette and the subcutaneous. Okay. One possible solution to this problem is to measure the calibration curves in presence of tissue that include to consider how cheap of spectral distortion. In fact, it was considered and it worked here. Okay, this is the results with this correction. Okay, there is a solution for ex vivo. Okay. Another very important information is we need to avoid anesthesia because it induces temperature change much larger than many pathology that we went to study. Therefore, it's necessary to measure in freely moving mass. One possible solution to the problem of luminescence nanothermometer was present in this paper here. It was luminescence nanothermometer based on rapid convection nanoparticle with dual emission in the same wavelength and decoded via one-time result technique. In this case, it was used an hybrid system with Túlio doped nanoparticle and the PBS quantum dots. Both emitting at around 800 nanometers, but with lifetimes so different. In the end, the system demonstrated to be independent of the tissue optical property. Look here, the ratio of the two bands of the Tolo and the PBS, quantum dot, for different thickness of the tissue, the same result. This is very important, this demonstration, and is opposite to conventional radiometric temperature when using the two bands emitting different wavelengths. Of course, we have here very dependence with the thickness of the tissue. And using the system, which demonstrated very interesting result in vivo. Thermal sensor, based on lifetime, was also demonstrated as a possible solution. This is an absolutely reliable thermal reading in animal model. However, they are the limitation principally, and not only about excitation source in lifetime measurements. Okay, in this work, we have proposed the silver sulfide superdots as a multi-parameter sensor for reliable thermal feedback during in vivo tumor therapy, and provide the community with multi-needed HOT to correct the effect of optical artifacts produced by biological tissue, pointing out the luminescent nanothermometer has a convincing technique for a highly sensitive preclinical thermal sensor. In this most recent work, the author demonstrated the thermal readout is strongly distorted by the attenuation induced by tissue is solved by using the high brightness luminescence nanothermometer silver sulfide superdot in combination with silicon simulation. Thermal image of the liver were obtained through luminescence transient thermometry. In this publication of these years, a review paper published in ECS Nano, the author do the question, Kovacs, that is, where is it going? Nanoparticle inhibiting vivo fluorescence image. The author make some very pertinent statement or observation that deserve to be posted here. Let's go to that. The first one is, surface chemistry is by far the most important parameter for determining the effect of nanoparticle and its interaction with biological tissue, and to both its toxicity and its ability to target a specific tissue. We believe that future research efforts for nanoparticle surface functionalization should be directed toward the personalization of nanomedicine. A combination of strategies to increase photoluminescence quantum yield and absorption could lead to brightening contrast agent would improve the performance of fluorescence imaging. The community needed to be careful not to extrapolate the goal from animal model to human or interpret research results. We anticipate that luminescence nanoparticle will revolve the eye-based problem in clinical application of fluorescence imaging in the next decade. To conclude, nanoparticle-enabled fluorescence imaging has a big future and will reach increasingly widespread use for several preclinical and clinical purposes. With this perspective, the author provides a guideline for ensuring that the efforts in the field are not misplaced to enable research to reach significant goal in timely manner. In this work, the author that includes the big boss in the area, Professor Daniel Hack, present the advance in challenge for fluorescence in nanothermometry. Fluorescence nanothermometry. This published last years. Yes, last years. Okay. I would like to thank the Brazil Fundagência, CNPq, CAPES, FINEP, FAPEAL, and the others, and my team, my colleague of the lab, postdoc, students, alumni, here including Patricia Poma. Thank you so much, Patricia, and the collaboration, principally Professor Daniel Hack and José Garcia Soler from Spain. Thank you so much for your attention.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Karp. Any question, guys?
Could be Pode ser em espanhol, ou em inglês, ou português.
Tenemos pregunta del profesor Carlos.
Oi?
Él quiere saber que a radiación que genera la termoluminiscencia afecta de una manera ao tecido vivo.
Repete, Patrícia, por favor, não. Tá meio ruim isso.
Oh, I'm sorry. Quer saber se a radiação que se genera pela termoluminiscência afeta de alguma maneira no tecido da gente, por exemplo, no ser vivo, no
Em
tecido.
geral, não. Em geral, não. Eu respondo em português?
Eu acho que no inglês poderia ser melhor, eu acho que a gente entende melhor no inglês.
In general, no, because it depend, of course, of the wavelength of the light used. Because if you are using ultraviolet excitation, could be a big problem. But in general, no, you have used visible or infrared excitation. In this case, it's no problem. Of course, depends of the intensity or the density of the power in the tissue. Because we have a limitation of the energy to avoid damage of the tissue. But in general, it's not problem, no problem. The intensity required for excitation of the nanoparticle not induce the problem in the tissue. Okay? And we are using optical heating using the laser is no problem because the local heating is very local, using basically in the absorption of the nanoparticle. This is the best situation and using exactly in the biological window. If you are in the biological window, avoid many damage of the tissue because the scattering and the absorption of the tissue is very reduced.
Ok.
Sim.
Agora temos
Eu tô vendo aqui as perguntas.
de Medina. Ele pergunta se estes métodos você está conseguindo ler. Você consegue ler? Você pode conseguir responder?
No chat aqui, não?
De Medina.
Este método que nos apresentou para bioaplicações pode ajudar a detectar células
No chat, isso, no chat.
Ou, quiçá, em um futuro se pode projetar a realizar investigações nesse tópico. Identification of the cancer cell is
no
a
inglês,
problem.
please.
Em inglês ou português?
No inglês, no inglês.
Identification of the cancer cell is a problem because depend of the functionalization of the nanoparticle. The functionalization, although we have a very interesting functionalization today, but there is some problem because there are many types of cancer in cells, okay? But in principle, the inoculation of the nanoparticle is exactly accumulated in the cancer cell. So this is one idea of identification of the cellular cancer lesions. Okay, cell with cancer, but not exactly indicate the type of cancer. This is one form of the therapy, diagnostic therapy. The lifetime measurement for this application is due to the changes in the non-radiative rate of the emitter level. The idea using lifetime measurement is to do on thermometry, okay? The idea is the lifetime present on very strong temperature dependence. So if you can use it as a nanothermometer, only with nanothermometer, not for diagnostic. The idea is we have a nanomaterial and it can be used as a nanothermometer. If the lifetime depends on the temperature, you can use it as a nanothermometer. Only the idea. Independent of the non-radiative rate, I think only I need the lifetime presented on very strong temperature dependence. Okay?
Ok. Agora temos
Tem mais
a
perguntas
pergunta
aqui?
de Cláudio. Cláudio
Depende do material.
Cláudio dice the lifetime measured for the
Ok, but Evangelho.
Carlos.
Olha.
Claudio, você respondeu the lifetime measured for application into the shine in the non-radiative rates of the...
A resposta para essa pergunta eu já dei, Patrícia.
All right, sorry. Evangelho.
Evangelho,
de Evangelho, outra
consulta
dice,
a respeito das nanopartículas que se usam, ela pode ser expulsa por organismo?
Isso.
We have performed the experiment principally in lanthanum fluoride nanoparticle, and yes, very, very interesting, not accumulating the organ after some day, 2-3 days is completely outside of the body. Okay, accumulating for a period of time in the liver, but after a long time, someday is removed completely. But this is depend of the nanoparticle, okay? It's not general. It's not general. Depend of the material of the nanoparticle. And more? More question?
Okay.
Okay, the last two papers I presented here in the
Thank you very much, Dr. Carlos. Muito obrigado.
Por nada, Patrícia. Eu que agradeço o convite e espero ver vocês em breve.
Fale. Você pode falar.
Como é que está a gravação aí, Patrícia? Está conseguindo
continuar trabalhando com você. Muito obrigada, professor.